In this episode of Wild Engineering, we are going to see how wildlife across the tropics is turning to human-made water holes to survive intensifying droughts. Hi, and welcome to this channel where humans and nature meet. From watering holes to wildlife corridors and artificial reefs, people around the world have been getting creative with engineering solutions to help the natural world, and it works. People can make a big difference for nature even in small ways. When facing threats like habitat loss, climate change, and extreme weather, some species can adapt by changing their behaviors. That's what we're seeing here. When faced with drought, wildlife in Central America is heading to these human-installed water tubs. Our story begins in the dry forests of northern Guatemala, where it has not rained in months. These forests are home to one of the most elusive cats in the world, the jaguar. But finding them is hard. In fact, no one has seen one in the wild for over 20 years. So it was quite a surprise when camera traps set up by a local NGO caught one on camera. The jaguar wasn't alone. The camera trap also captured footage of white-tailed deer and a group of peccaries. All of them were drinking from the same tub. This was surprising because the team had only installed the tub a few weeks prior. The team's work is part of a larger program called Drought Mitigation through Artificial Watering Hole, Rehabilitation and Protection in the Maya Biosphere Reserve. The project aims to help wildlife in the area cope with increasingly severe droughts brought on by climate change. Across the tropics, droughts are becoming more frequent and severe due to climate change. This is partly because of changes in rainfall patterns, which means that it rains less in some places while at the same time more in others. And when it comes to water availability, there are clear winners and losers. While some species can move around to find new habitats, others that need a lot of water to survive are stuck. In the dry forests of northern Guatemala, there is an aquatic mammal that fits this description, the white-lipped peccary. This pig-like creature lives in groups of up to 15 individuals and spends its days looking for food on the forest floor. Being such large mammals, they need a lot of water to stay healthy, especially during dry seasons. And usually they get that water from nearby streams and rivers. But with less rain comes less water flow in rivers, and eventually the water dries up completely. And when that happens, the peccaries have two options. They can try to migrate to another water source, or they can wait for the rains to return. However, migration is risky because the journey to another water source can be long and dangerous. There are predators along the way, and if the peccaries are unsuccessful in reaching a water source, they will die of dehydration and starvation. And waiting for the rains might not be an option either, because the next rainy season could be far away, and there is no guarantee that the peccaries will survive that long without water. To help animals like the white-lipped peccary survive, local NGOs are installing water tubs like the one the deer, peccary, and jaguar were drinking from. The idea is similar to providing supplemental feeding stations for wildlife. Just as animals can learn to use feeders, they can also learn to use these water tubs. In this case, the peccaries likely learned about the water tub from deer who are known to visit them first. By taking advantage of the water tub, the peccaries can survive the dry season in an area that would otherwise be uninhabitable. While the peccary's decision to use the water tub was born out of necessity, it's actually benefiting the jaguar as well. Jaguars are obligate carnivores, meaning that they need meat to survive. And since prey animals like peccaries and deer congregate at the water tubs, it's an easy meal for the big cats. One of the main reasons jaguars have disappeared from much of their historic range is because of habitat destruction. As forests are fragmented, they must travel long distances to find mates and prey. When jaguars have to traverse large areas, they're more likely to be killed by cars or get into conflicts with people. When prey animals gather at water sources, it's easier for the jaguars to find food without having to roam so far, which makes it easier for them to survive. And while jaguars may be at the top of the food chain, they too need water to survive. Like all mammals, jaguars need water for drinking and for cooling off during the day. During a typical day, a jaguar will spend about 8 hours resting in the shade and panting to regulate its body temperature. Jaguars tend to be the most active at dawn and dusk, but during midday, they prefer to take it easy. During peak activity, they can increase their body temperature by as much as 3 degrees Celsius. That's why they need a source of water close by to cool off. Jaguars aren't the only ones relying on these water tubs. Another mammal that has turned to them are the opossums. These small proto-wombats spend their days searching for food. Although they primarily eat fruit, they will also consume insects, small reptiles, and amphibians. Like many creatures in the area, they face a challenge during dry seasons when their food sources become scarce. Yet they too seem to have heard about the water tub opossum. Licking and lapping up water with their tongues, they are perfectly adapted for slurping up fluids. They appear to be using the water tubs not only for drinking, but also for cleaning themselves. Opossums spend a great deal of time grooming themselves, and the water tubs may offer a convenient place to clean up and cool off. But not all the users of these water tubs are mammals. A surprising visitor was the stingray. Stingrays are typically found in marine environments and rarely venture into fresh water. However, this freshwater stingray is perfectly adapted for life in slow-moving rivers and streams. Still, it needs water to survive. During the dry season, it likely follows the river until it reaches the water tubs, where it can drink to its heart's content. Another regular at the water tub is the agouti. Agoutis are large rodents that look like a mixture between a squirrel and a rabbit. These herbivores are quite good swimmers and will happily use the water tubs to quench their thirst. The green iguana is also making use of the water tubs. Green iguanas are native to the Americas and can be found as far north as southern Florida and as far south as northern Argentina. These large lizards are mostly herbivorous and spend their days looking for food. They bask during the day and often climb trees to do so. In the wild, they can live near permanent water sources, which is likely why they are showing up at the water tubs. And lastly, there are the birds. Birds are regular visitors to the water tubs. Some of the species that have been spotted include the jabiru, stork, keel-billed toucan, bare-throated bellbird, and the great tinamou. Birds are generally well adapted for dealing with dry seasons since they can fly long distances to find water. However, they still rely on water sources within their territory for drinking and bathing. For instance, the jabiru stork, which is the tallest bird in the Americas, will use shallow bodies of water to search fish and other aquatic creatures. Without water, the jabiru would struggle to find enough food. While there are many species that have been spotted at the water tubs, there are also those that haven't. For instance, the endangered harpy eagle hasn't made an appearance. Harpy eagles are large birds of prey that live in the tropical forests of the Americas. They build large nests in tall trees and wait patiently for prey to pass below them. While the harpy eagle is a powerful hunter, it cannot catch fish or aquatic creatures. Instead, it subsists mainly on tree-dwelling animals like monkeys and sloths. The harpy eagle doesn't need a water source within its territory, and therefore isn't visiting the water tubs. These camera trap results suggest that the tubs are helping animals survive the severe drought. However, it's impossible to say whether it's the water tubs or something else. After all, there could be other sources of water that the team is unaware of. Overall, the camera trap results paint a picture of a forest in crisis. Many species are being forced to change their behavior to survive the drought, but this behavior might not be entirely new. Some animals may have used water tubs left behind by previous inhabitants of the area. Others may have used natural depressions in the landscape that collect water after it rains. It's possible that these animals are simply adapting to the water tubs by associating them with water, much like they would with a natural water source. While the data gathered by these camera traps is valuable, it's important to remember that they only capture a snapshot of what's happening. Only time will tell if these water tubs are truly beneficial to the animals in the area. This kind of project is a win-win for both humans and wildlife. While it helps wildlife, it also provides an opportunity for local communities to develop ecotourism based on wildlife viewing. And speaking of opportunities, there's one coming up right now. We just launched our second mentorship program where 10 participants will get guidance from experts in conservation, science communication, filmmaking, and more. If you want to take your passion for nature to the next level, visit our website to apply. Thanks for watching. See you next time.